So is STEPN a scam? Okay, so everybody already heard about STEPN, the move to earn game created on Solana blockchain. So in this video I'll try to briefly explain the concept of this game, the way the money are flowing in and out of the app, how the tokenomics work, and with that we will hopefully be closer to understanding the fundamental thing, which means, is it sustainable or is it simply not worth spending any money on it? So in the beginning, in the previous video, I was discussing legitimacy. We saw that this project is backed by one of the biggest venture capital firms like Sequoia and Binance also. People who are working there are legit. You can check their LinkedIn profiles, and one of their advisors being a VP of the Adidas itself. So far so good, right? Next, we will talk about the concept of how to play in this game and how to earn money. So the rules are simple. You're getting paid for the distance you made by walking, jogging, or running. Of course, you need to have the GPS turned on in your phone in order to verify your location. So okay, easy. So what we need to do is to download the app, get the activation code, deposit Solana to buy the NFT shoes on the in-app market, which will allow us to use them while running. So when you calculate the money, you'll need to spend around $1,200 just to start playing. Not saying nothing about taking any interest paid out, because it will require some work or some additional money spent to reach a certain level of those NFT sneakers. So already based on that, you notice that this is just a game. It doesn't create anything like a product or service which other people will pay for, like it is in the case of a GMT project, for example, where real companies are using this technology in production and are paying for using the network. And here in STEPN, the money you earn are the money basically from the investors themselves. So it creates a question. Is it not very similar to a Ponzi scheme, where payouts for early investors are covered by inflow of fresh money from late investors? At first glance, it might look like that, but it's not like the STEPN is some kind of a total shady scam that hides everything from the public. It's a completely different story. They don't promise you high returns, they are transparent on how you and the company makes money. There is no problem with withdrawing the money, and on top of that, naturally, they are transparent on the blockchain. So it is rather a question, is the move to earn or play to earn a sustainable model, since it is dependent on new investors. When we check the supply of GST, that's the in-game token, which you earn after running or walking, there is an unlimited number of coins which can be created. So there must be an infinite amount of demand to balance that out. Even STEPN themselves are aware of that, and they released a blog post where they acknowledge that and are trying to add new functions and incentives for players to stay on board for a longer period of time. They say that without well-designed tokenomics, the project might reach the endgame sooner than later. The solutions they propose are incentives to stay longer on the platform by spending your earned GST. So if we check what are the motives and incentives to stay, we can see that firstly, we can level up our shoes, we can mint new ones, we can sell them in the marketplace, we can buy more and rent them for people who are not willing to invest or don't have the necessary minimal amount to enter. Although this one is still not available from what we can read on the website. From the roadmap, we can read that it will be ready in Q4. So next, we can unlock some sockets, repair the shoes, upgrade gems, and so on. We could say that we all know that it will simply delay the inevitable. At some point, there will be a moment when the supply will exceed the demand. In other words, the amount of payouts will be much greater than the new money flowing into the project, which will mean the end of the project itself. Because even if you delay the payout moment or slow it down by incentives to upgrade your sneakers to earn even more from the same activity, the payout moment will come sooner or later. If you are investing into something, either this kind of project or any other asset, you want to take out of it more than you paid for it in the first place. Right now, people are paid from $40 to $200 just for a simple walk. When we take a simple calculation, take the $1,200 of initial investment and divide it by $40, so which we earn per day, and that will give us a return on investment in 30 days. That is ridiculous. So in order to stay on for a longer period of time, I think this would have to be somehow normalized to not end like Axie Infinity, for example. And I know it is because there is a huge demand for the tokens, and simply if you calculate it in US dollars, you have those amounts. If you look at it from a broader perspective, any commodity relies on supply and demand. I think it is not possible to overcome that. If the demand for anything from gold to US dollar would vanish completely, the value of it would go down to zero as well, right? So going further, STEPN also wrote that apart from monetary rewards, games should be enjoyable, but also have other benefits attached to them, like networking or some other privileges, like any other crypto project has, for example, Bored Apes or Fancy Bears and so on. Summing things up, if we check the tokenomics, it is way better than the many other projects, but still the unlimited supply of in-game currency GST is something that should be noted to be changed maybe in the near future. Although I know there is this GMT, the governance token, which has a limited supply, and basically this token lets you increase that daily earning cap and leveling up your shoes, and also has a BTC mechanics, something similar to BTC halving event. But still, this is rather a time extension, since in order to use the GMT you need to essentially burn it. So at some point there will be no GMTs, and then we are back in the starting point. So the concept itself is very good, although it doesn't bring any real value, because who cares if we run or walk daily apart from ourselves to stay healthy, right? So nobody apart from us would get any real value out of it. But on the other hand, running or walking is something we all do on a daily basis, and is something that might have potential to keep the demand for the usage of this app. To have a better perspective on the project, you need to follow the price of the GST, the in-game token, which will show you basically what is the current demand. And if it will start to be lowering for a significant period of time, it might be a signal that we are reaching the end of it. So, and be sure to not get carried away by those spikes like we saw recently. If this would go bust, it would not be rather a quick action, but it would rather dry out very slowly. But for now, the potential finish line is far away. As we checked right now, the design of tokenomics and construction of the project gives a solid perspective for at least a couple years, I think. So most likely you will be able to withdraw what you paid in the beginning of it, if you'll do it very soon. Yeah, but remember, this is not a financial advice, so you should do your own research before risking your own money. At the end of the day, it is a game that has the whole economy in it. You upgrade your shoes like you do with the characters in many games. So to better grasp the concept of it, imagine that you are buying a game that you like, of course, and you get paid for playing it. You would play it anyway because you like it. So the stuff around it are just additional benefits. So it comes to what STEPN wrote themselves. There got to be added an additional layer of earning potential to also add intrinsic value to the token, which will create a kind of unlimited demand for it. Overall, everything goes back to tokenomics. When it is well designed, the project has the potential, and it might be so in this case. At the end of the video, I want to add a few words that caught my attention while doing a research about this project. That this kind of game design, if it will success, it can be applied to any other form of activity, from picking up the trash or even education, since the whole community would benefit out of it. Which, if you look at it from this perspective, it looks very interesting. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Till next time.